In a previous video, I did talk about Amish funerals, and I even visited a couple cemeteries in the area, and that one was more directed on the burial practices as far as do they even have cemeteries and things like that. So I had a question asked, do they embalm their deceased? And I thought that was a great question, so I did a little bit of research. And what we're going to find out, as every time we answer a question, it depends on which order that the Amish are in. Your old order Amish are always going to be more conservative and stick more with traditions and the old way of doing things. And then you have your new order, typically will be more progressive. Now, not progressive as we are as English, but more progressive in the sense of what their peers do in the other communities that are old order Amish. So to answer the question, yes, your Amish do embalm the bodies, typically in the new order, not in the old order. They don't have to. If they don't embalm them, they'll keep them on ice, keep them cool until the day of the burial. Typically, their process for a funeral or the burial practices is it takes up to 3 days. If an Amish family decides to embalm the family or the deceased, the body will be taken to the morgue, to a mortician in the local community. And it can be the local English community, not necessarily the Amish mortician. So they do embalm the body. They'll come pick it up for them, embalm it, and then bring it back. They have their services in their home. So it's very simple. They honor the deceased, but in a very, very simple way. There is a viewing. And then the funeral happens in the home or the barn of the family. So like I said, the mortician will bring that embalmed body back. The casket will usually be very simple, made out of wood, very plain, no flowers, no decorations. And even the funeral is different than what you would see in an English funeral. There's no eulogy. Instead, the funeral service is more like an Amish church service. There will be sermons and prayers and hymns, and everything will be conducted in Pennsylvania Dutch. So in our sense, when we think of that funeral, it's not quite the same, but the bodies can be embalmed if that's what they choose. Now, again, your old order Amish may choose not to, and they don't have to. They can still bury their dead in that simple casket that's made out of wood. That casket is lowered into a hand-dug grave. Obviously, they don't use big track hoes and things like that, so it's hand-dug. And then I have a picture that I did find of an Amish cemetery, and you can see it's very, very simple. They have headstones. There's no decorations. And what they do inside at the cemeteries, they keep track of the plots, kind of like a local church directory. And so they'll keep track of where everybody is buried so people can come in and find their loved ones. All right, I hope that answered your question. They are allowed to embalm. Many of them do.